Next is the goal gradient effect. It's also called as the goal gradient hypothesis, and it motivates users through a feeling of progress and make them put more efforts to move closer to a goal. The best example is this coffee card that we get, loyalty card that we get from coffee brands. This 12 coffee cup card pre-emptied twice will complete faster than a 10 with a no pre-stamp. So basically here what was done was there was an experiment conducted in cafe. There were 2 stamps printed and they were distributed among the users. Person who had 12, he was 2 extra stamped. It was mentioned in the card that the 13th copy will be free. The people who had got extra stamped, they were able to buy more than the people who had not got stamped, even though it was 10. This was an experiment and it was successful, and it's a very good example of goal gradient effect. And this is widely used by the marketing people in creating the landing pages for promoting different products. Here what they do is they use different parameters, different elements like progress bar, checklist to affect and influence the human thinking. So takeaway here is long web form should always clearly display the number of steps so that the user understand how close they are to completing it. You should break the web forms into different sections. You should use progress bar and take advantages of human behavior. Also, this helps in guiding the user and telling that how much more effort they need to complete the task. So now next we'll talk about priming. And priming is basically what you do is you influence people subconsciously. You don't go and tell user buy this, you make a person behave in a certain manner. This could be done either by giving visual clue or by writing copy that is influential. It forces the human or the user to behave in a certain way. There are different things like colors, even the copy, the notification, buttons like says buy now to get 20% off, and notification is like last 10 days left to buy this product, 10 items in this stock. So these are all example of priming. So basically you're subconsciously forcing the user to buy the product. So using priming, designers give signals that subtly influences users into making a purchase, signing up for service, or for any other actions that you want and that you desire. So Fitts law is another important law. This says that it is easier to aim the bigger the target is. So in simple word, so if there are 2 buttons, one is big in size, the other is small, you will try to hit the big button. So the longer the distance and the smaller the size, the longer it takes. So having large targets helps to reach it faster, and touch targets should be placed in an area of the interface that allows them to be easily acquired. And what are these places called? These are called as the prime pixels. So what we see on the 2 graphics on the right, the area on the top, bottom, and left and right, and the extreme corners. So these are the prime pixels. These are the space user can reach and most widely used space. That's why like company and the product designers, they try to use this real estate to put important links, buttons, and increase conversions. And how to use fit law? So basically one is like create large buttons, minimize cursor movement. So everything, you should group things together. It should not be like the copy is at one place and the action at other place. It should be grouped and should be used as a unit. The other is sorting that into a meaningful groups. Categorize that, group that together, and sort it properly. So that's what Fitts law says. In Google search on the top, we have all the quick links. This is also the important by exploiting the prime pixels. Next is Jacobs laws. Jacobs law says that designing familiar experience are preferred. So basically, we as a user use so many different applications every day, so many different products every day. We should try to use the same pattern, same experience, rather than like creating everything from the scratch. So users spend most of their time on other sites, and they prefer your sites to work the same way as well as the other sites they already know. So by designing your site in a similar way, you are designing an experience which they are familiar with. Also, by leveraging existing models, you try to reduce the cognitive load, and it becomes easier for the user to work on your system because no new learning is required. These are some of the examples of Jacobs law, how we have designed this radio buttons, form elements, so on. So these have all been derived from the physical world. Similarly, if we talk about e-commerce, all the e-commerce works in a similar manner. That's because no one wants to reinvent the wheel. They just want to use the same experience and focus on converting the customers, the users.